sense, he does make us judges. But because he said, judge ye your own self that you may not be judged. So if I see something that is not quite right in you, I ought to be looking at myself to see if I'm doing these same things, making sure that I'm not walking this way as well. But I should be judged of my own self, of my own sins, not the sins of somebody else, because God said he will do the judging, not us. He will do the judging. So my judgment should be in me. How am I walking? If the song "The City Right," he said, boy, he made the song, and I'm telling you, it was right on time. He said, you should spend 6 months. How did it state it? If you spend 6 months taking care of your own business, and 6 months leaving mine alone, that take care of all of your business right there. Then you ain't got time to be doing nothing else. You see what I'm saying? So you started out just right, man. You hit it right on the dot. You hit it right on the number when you saying what John, First John, what he's saying here. And this is so true. In the church, man, we spend so much time focusing on looking at other people. And instead of saying what Habakkuk said, he said, I will watch to see what the Lord is saying. We should be spending our time focusing on the word that is coming out of the preacher's mouth. The man of God who he's using at this moment, we should be looking to see what is coming out of his mouth. But we spend our time looking to see what else is going on in the service. Oh, Lord, have mercy. I'm telling you, you hit it right on the dot. You thought it out just right.
Amen. And I love, I love, Pastor, how the Lord, even when we get in the story of David, I love how the Lord, even though he had Nathan to speak to him through certain things, but his relationship with God was above all. He used Nathan to speak to him for certain, but his relationship with God was on point. When God spoke to David, David moved. Amen. He had some issues, and we're going to see that he had some issues, but he was God-man, through it all. Amen.
When the word hit him, he made sure he draw his foot back so it wouldn't be there when it
so
when
many
it come
times,
again.
over and over again, the position God had him in, he could have do some things, but he never overcrossed his boundaries. Amen. Okay, we're going to begin David, faith, and forgiveness.
David's sin. In the springtime, when kings typically went out to battle, the mightiest warrior in all of Israel decided to sit this one out. Perhaps he felt he had earned the right to relax at home and catch up on some overdue royal projects. 2 Samuel 10 tells the story of David personally fighting against the Syrian army, a battle in which he slew the men of 700 chariots of the Syrians and 40,000 horsemen, and smote Shobach, the captain of their host, who died there. The problem with David's decision is he also took a vacation away from God. We are often most vulnerable to temptation after a great victory because we let our guard down. One evening during his sabbatical, David took a stroll on the roof of his house. Maybe he was having trouble sleeping and wanted to glimpse the grandeur of his kingdom. Whatever the reason of his evening rooftop walk, it ended in David's sinful choice. David saw a married woman bathing. She happened to be the wife of one David's mighty men, Uriah the Hittite. Rather than look away or walk back inside, David caved into temptation and sent someone to bring her to him. He discovered her name was Bathsheba, and she was indeed married. But even that holy boundary did not keep him on the right side of righteousness. She was brought to him, and he committed the sin of adultery with Bathsheba. Once he discovered she was expecting David's baby, King David called for her husband Uriah to come home from the battle, hoping to make it appear Bathsheba's husband was the father of the soon-to-be-born child. When Uriah refused to spend the night in the comfort of his home twice, while his companions slept on the battlefield, David ordered him to be intentionally placed and then abandoned on the front lines where he would certainly be killed by enemy troops. Although Uriah was a mighty man of valor, he was not mighty enough to face the enemy alone. There on the battlefield, righteous Uriah died at the hand of unrighteous David.
Amen. Unrighteous. You look at the story, and I guess God didn't even care for the reason why David stayed back in Jerusalem. Because he never gave us one detail of a reason why he might would have stayed back. All he was looking at was what David did. Amen. His sin that he brought upon himself. Amen. There's a king. You're looking at a king, who can order and have anything at his fingertips. This is how we do when we get in charge. That's how the government going right now. This is how the government using the country right now. When you can have anything you want at your fingertips. Amen. You gonna come to my house and take my own little ewe lamb, the only one I got. When you got a kingdom full. I feel like greed. Amen. You just want to have things your way. But God is looking at everything. So a lot of things that goes on, and we as Christians, we shouldn't worry about. But he set this story for David for an example for us to let us know, this thing that David did was not something God was going to approve of. Amen. So it is a line that God draws that will separate us from him, from doing what he would have us to do. Amen. And David draws the line. He draws the line, and he got deeper and deeper in the sun. And I think he didn't even realize what he was doing at one moment. He done got so far in this thing, he said, I'm king. I can get away with this thing.